Hi everyone, welcome back to the Chinese Medicine podcast. I'm really excited to bring this episode. We're going to be talking about the frequency of healing. I'm here with an expert in a specific area, a very unique area of how Chinese medicine and the theories of Chinese medicine may be able to be utilized. So we're going to talk about sound healing, we're going to talk about Chinese medicine and so much more. This is going to be really practical for people that want to do some kind of self-treatment on themselves. You might be a practitioner that is looking for things you can, other strings you can add to your bow. And I'm here with David Hartmann, all the way from Queensland. I'm in Queensland too, so we're here together. And so welcome.
Thank you. No, lovely. Great to get this opportunity. Thank you.
Awesome. So David's been in practice for more than 30 years. And so he's had a lot of experience. He's done teaching of Chinese medicine. He's got a really big passion for, our community and our profession to thrive and grow. And he does something pretty unique. So let's just dive into it, the frequency of healing. Right. So maybe just explain roughly what's the unique thing that you do.
Sure. As mentioned, I started studying in 1993. So I've been practicing acupuncture sort of since 1994, really.
Yeah.
Because you obviously treat in a student clinic. So I think when I started, I felt like probably acupuncture, and I did tuina massage as well. So it's like Chinese acupressure massage. Yep. So those that don't know that, it's more working on the body and over clothing or over towels. You don't tend to use oil and remove clothing.
Yep.
So it's more friction and more deep pressure. I thought those two things would be what I would be doing my whole life, but then I had, you can probably see, hand injuries and broken bits and pieces.
Oh, wow.
I know, silly mistakes, and then also sports injuries. I realised I couldn't keep using my hands in terms of the massage.
Yeah.
So I started looking around for other options, and my mum, Tony Cross, had gone to America to learn tuning forks. So that was through Accutonics, and they used kind of weighted forks like this, where you've got the weights on the ends of the forks, and then you've got the end and you activate the fork and you put it on an acupuncture point. So she taught that for a number of years. I learnt some of that. I'm not qualified in Accutonics, but I learnt some of it. And then about 12 years ago, she went back to America and learnt biofield tuning, which is a bit more with unweighted forks.
Okay.
And you use that more, not so much physically on the body, but actually like over the top of, say, chakras. So you might do, say, crown chakra, but it's off the body with the unweighted. But we'll talk about them a little bit more later. But that sort of got me interested in learning more about these funny-looking tuning forks, essentially. And so I did all of the biofield tuning courses. And then I realised that the tuning forks could be used almost as the replacement for my, pushing my thumb into a point. I could instead do the fork. So it became almost like a hybrid thing where I started looking at how I could not replace the needle, but offer an alternative option for people that are, say, needle phobic, or they sometimes get a little bit of needle shock and can almost look like they're going to pass out just from the stress of the needles, I guess, as we've all had from time to time. So the forks don't hurt. Yeah. Not that the needles really do either, to be fair, but people get hyped up by needles.
Yeah.
So,
and that's a valid thing. There's like a whole bunch of people that would love to try acupuncture, but it's too anxiousness for them. And then why would they put themselves through that? This is a great opportunity for that. Yeah.
So and it's so that was the idea behind it. And then I realised, because I'd been teaching my own workshops in acupuncture and massage for 20-something years myself, I went, okay, well, could I also offer some tuning fork workshops as well? And so it kind of kept evolving. So what I have is essentially Chinese medicine using tuning forks for people that either want to study it or might want to try Chinese medicine, but again, they're worried about the needles.
Okay. And one of the reasons why I thought it would be great to have you on the show is, like, we have a lot of subscribers, particularly on YouTube. Welcome if you're on Spotify or Apple. But I have quite a good connection with people because I have a live stream. We have back and forth chats. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are either really interested in Chinese medicine for their self-care in between treatments that they do with practitioners. Okay, so they've been told, oh, I've got dampness. That's the most popular topic on this channel, dampness. Or I've got spleen qi deficiency, or I've got liver qi stagnation. And they're doing the things to manage that on their own, as well as a practitioner, maybe take herbs, maybe do acupuncture. And, I thought that this would be such a great topic to discuss, how people might go about learning this stuff for their own self-treatment. But also, I've met heaps of people through this channel that they live really remotely to practitioners, and they just cannot get the medicine any other way, but they're somehow really interested in Chinese medicine. So this is going to be really beneficial for people that are, we'll do a bit of show and tell and sort of explain what you can do. And David runs courses in this as well that are open to people from all walks of life, type of thing, right? You don't have to be a practitioner to go to the course.
No, last year we had a real estate agent, a lady that was looking for a, midlife crisis kind of thing, and she
like a tree change in some way.
So she came and learnt almost everything that I had to feel like she was confident in treating herself and friends, and then eventually treating people.
And even in that let's say it's self-treatment, but also helping other people, compared to going to doing acupuncture, it's very low risk. There's no needling, there's no, like, a lot of the stuff with acupuncture is the safety of all around that, as you know, being a teacher of it. So this is, it sounds like it'll be perfect for people like that.
Yeah, and it's again, different topics that are offered in terms of whether it's more of a foundational sort of fundamental course, learning what the forks are, how to use them, to specific actual Chinese medicine themes like 5-element archetypes, or learning more about the Zhang Fu patterns, which I noticed on your channel, the different topics.
Yeah, so we have a lot of people interested in the personality type. Well, I call them personality types, like wood type, fire type, that sort of thing. Are these things that could be used for people to help them balance their type, or like an imbalance of being, they know I'm a fire type, but I'm like, oh, I'm super pleasure seeking and I can't stop, that aspect, and they want to address that. Is this stuff they could use? Yeah,
it's something, especially with the 5-element archetypes, that's something I have been teaching for, gee whiz, probably 24 years or something. So, but only last year in New Zealand was the first time I ever taught it for tuning fork community.
Cool. Yeah,
so
great.
that was cool. And then I'm offering it again in March in Melbourne.
Okay, cool.
So it's definitely very much about looking at each archetype, whether you're fire, wood, earth, metal, water, and then what that signifies in you.
Yes.
Your strengths, your areas, when you're under stress, how you react. And then what I call activations with the tuning forks. They're essentially like a treatment, but they have a series of steps which creates kind of a flow. Like a massage has a series of steps to create the flow. So I call that an activation, but essentially it's a treatment.
Yeah, great. And that's like to bring your element into its balance, like
type
of
because you've got certain people that you'll see out in the world. When you hear about a wood archetype, for example, you can probably think of some people automatically who are wood, but they're almost excess. They're too narcissistic, whereas a standard wood archetype certainly do love themselves and get out there and try and be the best they can be. And that's fine, but if you end up too much in it, then you become essentially a narcissistic prick. And so it's about bringing that back. Of course, it's unlikely that sort of person's probably going to
I was just going to say that. They won't recognise that they've got too far.
Because there's nothing wrong with them.
I don't need no help. I don't need dog shooting forks.
No, I know. Yeah.
But
I'm perfect the way
if you do have a narcissist, you could come behind them and just get the... Imagine you have a narcissistic partner and you're just like, what are you doing, honey? Nothing. Just keep watching TV.
Just practicing.
Just tuning you.
It's funny, isn't it?
Okay.
And then also look at excesses or deficiencies as well. So if you're, say, wood deficient, then you probably are hiding away at home, you're a people pleaser, you have a dominant boss that you allow to be dominant over you, and yet you want to be that person, you want to be the boss, but you're allowing that other person to sort of push you around a bit because you've become a submissive person. So within all of these archetypes, they have different traits, and if you become excess or deficient, then the tuning forks look to improve the deficiency.
Yes.
So build it, or if you're excess, to calm it down. And then, say I'm fire archetype, so I've still got a bit of the other 4. So
Yes.
you can also look at what your other ones look like, sort of how much of them you are, and you can even look at going, well, the one I'm the least of, I could still treat it
Yeah.
to harmonise it and give it its chance to shine at any given point.
Yeah. Like I was talking with someone to help them with this kind of thing, and just like the metal element, well, you correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not an expert in this area, but probably brings discipline into things. And like for me, I think metal is probably my weakest one. And then sometimes I just tell people you are all the 5 elements. You have all those aspects in you. You just need to sort of borrow that from, say, yep, get that metal. It's like I need to create structure and routine. The discipline, like people that really struggle with like things like ADHD and stuff, they really struggle with discipline in some way, right? Like, fleeting from one thing to another. And it's sometimes like, it's great to know that it can be used in that way where you're like, okay, I'm looking for this trait, like creativity, for instance, right? Where you stimulate the wood, right? Or water to generate wood or something like that.
Yeah. So you'll have one that's kind of your main, and then you'll have, which you might be anything from 60% of what you read about it up to, I had a gentleman in Germany at a conference a few years ago, and it was an acupuncture conference, and he said, I'm everything that's written about this element except for one thing. Yes. He was 99%.
Oh, wow.
I think metal.
Yep.
And so that's, usually you're between 60 to 80% of it, and that's your main one, and then you have a second one, which might be 40 to 50%.
Yep.
And that one for me is water, which allows me to research and write and hide away in my cave to research and write, whereas the fire dominant's the bit that gets me out into the world and promotes the healing power of what we do.
You probably having a good time.
Yeah. And then the other 3 are less, but they need sometimes to jump up, as you said.
Yeah.
So if I want, say, this book, which I'm hiding, I hide away to do, but it's in tables.
Yeah, wow, okay.
So that table is very metal.
Yes.
That requires really real structure, and that's not one of my strengths. So I had to look at how I could strengthen that for the purpose of the book.
Yep.
And so that's where the tuning forks or acupuncture can actually be used to give that element a chance to charge into what we need it for.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then, of course, it'll sort of pacify again later on.
Yeah, that's great. That's really good. Yeah. All right, so before we get into the exciting stuff, I'm already getting excited. Let's talk about the different, because you've got 2 different types of tuning forks and they do different things. Yep. And that's kind of the crux of it, right? So maybe we talk about that.
Sure. So you have, as I said before, weighted forks. So they have the sort of essentially the bolts on the end. They can come in various types. Sometimes they're rectangular or square, but essentially they hold the vibration of the fork. So when I hit the fork, because with this I can hit on my body.
Yep.
So you hit somewhere flat with a bit of meat. Don't do it on a bone.
Don't do it on a bone.
Well, unless you don't get bruised.
Okay. Oh yeah, but not for the tuning fork.
You don't need to do it on a bone. You can just do it on a fleshy area. Fleshy area. Okay. So you won't hear this one because the weights nullify the sound. You'd have to hold it up to your ear to hear it.
Yeah.
So it's a low sort of sound. Not quite that low, and sounds a lot better than that. I'm not going to be a musician. So the weights dull the sound down, but it means that when you put it on the point, an acupuncture point, you can probably see in the cameras that it's vibrating.
Yeah, you can see it going.
Yeah, so it will hold its vibration, and I feel it. Do you want to?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Whoa. Yeah. You can almost hear the sound when you make that.
You can almost hear the sound through your own body.
Yeah.
So these ones are good for actually physically putting on the body. On acupuncture points, you can slide it along a channel.
Oh wow.
A bit slower than what I'm doing it.
Yep.
But that's going from large intestine 1 to 11. So it's essentially working on the large intestine channel.
Yeah.
And that's another way of doing it rather than, as I said, with Tuina, you might, do this sort of thing on the channel. but then you're hurting your thumbs.
And to be fair, it's actually really hard to do Twainer on yourself like that sometimes. Like you're like, oh yeah, you're sort of getting it, but yeah, whereas this you can kind of probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you won't hear them unless you hold them to your ear or you get a sense of the sound. They're the weighted ones that you put on the body. And then you've got various unweighted ones. So you can probably see there's quite a difference here. This will be a lower, deeper sound. This will be a much higher frequency sound. But these ones being unweighted, you will hear, I would imagine. And it will gradually, do you want to put it closer to?
Yeah, I put it to my mic and then.
So it gradually drops away. So the way it sounds away from your body and then putting it near your ear is also a little bit different as well. So this is up near 1,000, so it's a higher frequency, and they work on different things essentially. So in terms of, say, chakra systems, the lower chakras, say root, sacral, solar plexus, will be a lower frequency vibration, whereas higher up towards the crown will be more like a higher. So that 963 is a fork that for some tuning fork sets works on crown chakra, but also works on, say, our head. Mm-hmm. So for, say, Chinese medicine, that would be things like raising, say, qi that's dropping.
Yep.
So you do higher forks to help to raise it. Or the opposite of that, you can use certain frequencies higher up to actually drop excess energy.
Right.
So I tend to run with quite a red face. It's part of a fire archetype thing. Plus, in Brisbane, it's summertime, it's very hot.
It's very hot.
And I'm getting sunburned. I can use this to actually help to move that excess heat
down.
Mm-hmm. And then you'd use the lower frequency fork, like this one for, say, root chakra, and also for, say, someone that retains a lot of fluid, say, where the spleen's not transporting fluid. You end up with more around your tummy, your thighs, your hips, your bum. So these lower down help to what they call transform and transport fluids.
Awesome. And what about like, I'll fix this on microphone. It's gone crazy there. It's always the case when you take it off. You regret it.
Getting it back on again?
Well, I don't want it to touch the fabric.
Ah, okay.
Because it will make that little rustly sound.
I wouldn't know. You're the expert on this.
Normally it's...
So you'll see whilst this is happening that these two have different ends on them. So this one has a crystal boot on the end. This one doesn't have anything on the end. It's just...
Yeah.
So they can have a little, they just call it a boot on the end of various types. Or you can have one where this one has a handle that's about this long. So you can see trying to grip something like this, there's not a lot to grab.
No.
So they bought out this thing, so you've got something to grab onto.
Yeah.
Because what you don't want to do is hold it up here.
So that's going to quash the vibration,
Yeah, it stops the vibration, so you've got to hold it.
And is that like a screwing on thing that goes on the back bottom of your
it's got a little sort of Allen key type of thing that takes it on and off. And then when you take it off, it'll look just like this on the end.
Yeah. I'll hold that up. So yeah, there's not much there.
So for some people that, and if some people have big hands, they want something to grip. So this is longer, and also when you turn it on its side, you can slide over more of a
whole channel area.
So you can see when I do this, I'm still not holding up here. Yeah. So I'm holding it in a way that allows that to still go. Whereas if I activated it and then I held it here, it's gone out straight away. So there's no point in doing that. So it gives you more to work with.
Yeah, great. Yeah, awesome. And in terms of treating channels and stuff, like you're saying pulling, like let's say you've got heat up here and you're trying to pull that yang down to the lower part, are this the weighted or the non-weighted, does that make a difference in where you're putting them on, or would you just...
that's probably what I didn't finish talking about with those. You can use weighted ones, and what I would do then is typically use channels that do travel down the body. So one of the good ones then is, say, the stomach channel.
Yep.
And you don't have to go all the way from, because it starts up on the head, you don't have to go all the way from the head to the toes. You can start, say, knees down, and that's just encouraging the flow of energy down. And the stomach does tend to send energy up when it's out of balance. So doing that stomach channel actually then tells the stomach, stop, you're going the wrong way, go the right way. So that would be physically on the body where you would, well, I don't have... The video got my legs in it. You would basically, let's say this is your leg. You would travel down like this. You're physically putting it on the body.
Yep.
The one I'm working on is large intestine channel. It's a channel that goes this way, but you could go against the flow to tell it to send energy down.
Yeah. Do you tend to do that? Like, you know, in Twainer, they always just go from top to bottom, pretty much the flow in general.
Yeah, a lot of us do tend to run with too much energy up. Things like coffee will send energy up. There are some people, of course, where there's not enough energy in the head, so then you'd have to be a little bit careful with that, of course. Another option is you use these. These don't go so much on the body, so you could activate it and sweep it down the body. Okay. So you're just sweeping it down, you know, about...
I mean, I can feel something when you're doing that. Like, you can feel something.
May I?
Yeah.
Do you just...
Oh, yeah.
Slide it down.
Yeah, I mean, you can feel a tingling going down to your legs.
Yeah, these are cool when you can feel them without it touching you.
Yeah.
And that's where people go, oh, I'm not going to feel anything with the fork, that David goes, I'm just going to hold it over his heart chakra. I'm not going to feel anything. And then you do, and you go, well, how's that possible? So it's that's what is cool when you get an undeniable thing where someone will be... I get why a fork on the body, I can feel that, but I don't understand how I could feel anything where the fork is, you know, out here, which they call the biofield or your aura.
Yep.
It's basically the metaphysical of our physical.
Yeah.
Every organ that we have in the body is a physical thing, and then it has a metaphysical version of itself that hangs out here somewhere, wherever the organ is. And so that organ can be physically treated by, say, you know, over the lungs. You put a fork straight over the top of the lungs, but then you can also do this off the lungs, off the side, off the back. And that can be dictated by things like patients that maybe have a lot of protection. Maybe someone's been physically or metaphysically stabbed in the back.
Okay, yep.
In that case, their energy is right on their back, acting very, very defensive-like.
Yep.
Whereas we want it to be out in space a bit.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
Yep, yep.
So all these different mechanics that people use, shields they put up, that's where these are good, because they work on the shields out in space.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Super interesting. And what about like the process of using them? Would it be very similar to Chinese medicine? So like, let's say whatever diagnostic system you use, whether it be 5-element, whether it be Zhang Fu or whatever you do, and you might come up with a prescription for that patient. Let's say a practitioner's thinking about using them, or a patient might be thinking about using them because they know they've got liver qi stagnation and they were told you can press Hergu and Tai Chung or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Would you, if let's say you were going to needle those 2 points and that was your whole prescription just to keep it easy, would you just be doing that, or
yes,
you're basically substituting the acupuncture needles for the tuning forks?
Yeah, you substitute and you do Tai Chong or liver 3 and you do large intestine 4 or Hergu, and you literally would just activate the fork, stick it on, and you'd do that, say, a few times. The power is from hitting it and getting it on. That's when it's powerful. Now it's starting to go down.
Okay.
So there's no... Some theories will have you got to leave it on till this stops.
Yeah.
But the power is now.
Yeah, so it's quicker.
So
the quicker
really,
you can get
once
it on
you've
there.
done about 5 seconds, stop, go again, get it back on.
Yep.
Because the big power is the beginning.
Yes, right.
So then you do the other side, then you do the liver 3 on the foot.
Yep.
the value of the forks is that you could also then work on certain channels or meridians to support the four gates treatment.
Yep.
So you could run the fork up the liver channel from the big toe to the knee.
Yep.
Most of the power on channels are typically toes to knees or fingers to elbows.
Yep. Yep.
It's where most point prescriptions tend to have their favourite points. And then the same would apply if you've done large intestine 4, then you could run the fork up the large intestine channel to the elbow. Same with the liver channel up to the knee.
Yeah. Okay. And what about the frequency of the tuning forks? Is there something for each channel? How do you work that out? Like
Different tuning fork companies have different frequencies for the organs, and that's really, if you know anything about Chinese medicine, that's not uncommon to run into that scenario. If we had a needle and we were putting a needle into large intestine 4 and maybe we wanted to strengthen it, then some schools of thought will be that you twist the fork clockwise.
Yep.
But then an equally famous way of doing building is to go anti-clockwise on the needle. So two different theories for the same point to do the same thing. So when we have different tuning fork companies that have different frequencies for organs and for channels, it doesn't mean that one's wrong and one's right. It's just a different theory. So really in the end, you probably have to go with what you just feel makes the most sense for you. Maybe you try some different ones.
So you try to understand the theory of why they're saying these frequencies and what makes...
Yeah, or you just go...
What your teacher told you.
You know what? My teacher has said, buy tuning forks from this company because they're great. And you just trust that process. You know, if you trust the teacher and you just go, right, well, that's the frequency that works.
Yeah. Well, this would be something that's very new, especially for Chinese medicine, in clinical use, right? Or practical use. And it's going to be something where you'd have to take that anecdotal evidence and keep accumulating it. Like you said, like this brand, you try this, you know, you do that you'd have to do it on for years and years with one thing to really try it, no, yes or no, right?
Yeah, and that's where clinical experience still has a value in terms of research and research results.
Of course.
The more you do a thing, the more you go, well, yeah, it looks like spleen 6, Sun Yin Jiao really does work at moving fluid in the body. It becomes kind of almost an undeniable thing. So that's where the forks will certainly have that. And there are obviously cheap and nasty versions and then super expensive ones.
Yeah, because look, I'm sure everyone watching this after this episode, you're going to be like, yeah, I'm doing tuning forks. Like, where do you, like, did they just go and they pay? I'm sure you've seen some bad scenarios.
A good guide is that if the company... See, this fork has the name of the company on it.
Okay.
It says Biofield Tuning. They are so confident in their product that they're going to put their name on it.
Yeah, and that's etched into the metal.
Etched into the metal. If you buy a tuning fork with nothing on it to identify who made it, where it came from, it probably means that the person's or people or company is not willing to own their product.
It's true, yeah.
So having a name on the tuning fork or some sort of symbol, some will have a butterfly, or I don't know if that's true, but they will have a symbol that identifies that butterfly as a logo means this company. And then some companies, like from Germany, they won't even have a label that's even in English, but the label is still representative of the company. German companies make very, very good tuning forks. American companies are typically very reliable. We have a mob in Brisbane. I haven't tried them enough to know, but so far they seem to be very good ones. And then there's also a company in New Zealand, which we're currently experimenting with to see how they go.
Cool.
So Australia and New Zealand will have forks that are substantially cheaper than trying to get them from Germany or America, who have a similar kind of exchange rate.
Yeah, because that's all cost of
Yeah.
getting the goods here and the shipping and all the rest of it. Yeah.
So the minute you buy one that's not any good, basically what will happen is that this is a 174 hertz. It will sound like it should as a 174. Bad companies, it might start out sounding like it should, and then it changes its pitch.
Okay.
So there are apps you can get for your computer where you activate a fork and it will tell you the frequency.
Yes.
So you'll know if your fork's frequency changes.
Okay. Yep.
So the cheaper versions will lose their frequency quickly, or they never had the frequency right to begin with.
Okay. Yep. Yep. Now, what would be? You probably not tried this out, but like, let's say you only had one tuning fork and you just use it everywhere on your body. Will it still be something or not good to do that?
It's still good. You don't have to buy huge sets. Basically, I look at if you want to do forks predominantly on the channels or acupuncture points, then you just get a weighted fork and anything under about 150 hertz. So the lower frequency really moves the chi and blood through the body.
Yep.
It's a lower base kind of yang energy, which is power.
Okay.
So anything from 150 down. This one's 92 roughly hertz. This one is 54. So again, you're not going to hear the difference between them. But what happens is that you can see this one's longer. So the lower the number, the higher the fork.
Yep.
When you get to about 30 hertz, most humans won't hear that frequency anymore.
Yep.
Doesn't mean it's not working, it's just we can't hear it anymore as humans. Other animals will still hear them. And the 30 hertz one is like this long, the handle. So this bit's the same length, it's just this bit from here up is longer. So basically anything, as I said, below 150. Om is 136.10 or something like that. That's a very good frequency that the human body likes. It resonates us to the earth. And then there's also a Schumann resonance, which is 7.83, which is the lightning strikes that hit the earth. But we don't have a 7.83 hertz fork. We use two forks together, not this and this, but something like that. And it's the two numbers taken away from each other, which creates the Schumann resonance. I have got a free 1 hour video for anyone that is interested on the different frequencies, what they mean. Because there's Fibonacci, Solfeggio, there's all these ones that I'm rattling off. But if you want to know more, then it'll just be a matter of contacting us and I can send that video out. And the video comes with a couple of demonstrations of me doing an actual activation on someone as well.
Oh, awesome. Okay, cool.
So yeah, on the body, anything below 150 gives you the guts, the movement. Then anything between about 150 to 250, which this one sits in, is good having an unweighted, and that one is what they call the workhorse. So there's variations of different forks depending on the company. That between 150 to 250, that's your workhorse fork. This can still be done on the body, it will just lose its power faster because it doesn't have the weights. You can also get forks that have weights in that frequency, but you will not hear it. So if I had weights on this, you wouldn't hear it, whereas you can hear that. So that's another fork that's good because you can do it off the body or physically on the body, and then a higher frequency one. Higher frequency ones are better without weights because you want to hear it. It's almost like you do it and the person goes. So low frequency fork between below 150 hertz, something that usually unweighted between 150 to 250, and then something higher frequency, 500 hertz or more. 3 forks. Will do everything that you would really need.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Yep. So people can get started to try and see what's going to happen with pretty much low entry level cost. Like it's not going to be exorbitant doing that.
No.
Yeah, good. All right.
I think the company we're trying in New Zealand has those 3 frequencies for less than $100.
Okay, great.
Not per fork, total.
Yeah, right.
So even if they don't end up being very good, you'll still get a period of time where they'll be effective before they don't.
And is that period of time, if they're not great, is that based on how much they're
their quality, how much they're used,
heat or something,
how brittle the fork is.
Yep.
Like when you look at this, you know, you can see I can squeeze that.
Yep.
Some forks that are very, very cheap, I will be doing really pressing and I can't move them.
Oh, so they should have a flexibility.
There needs to be some flexibility.
Yeah, okay.
So if they're not flexible, they're brittle, and when you hit them, it almost hurts. Even though you're not hitting this on your body, you're using this. It's just a hockey puck.
Yeah.
You're hitting it here. Even just hitting it will like vibrate through you because it just doesn't have any give to it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the weighted ones, you can see again, moves.
Yeah, really flexible.
So again, if you're going and it's not moving, when you hit it on yourself, it will really hurt. No matter where you do it.
Yeah, okay.
Soft padded areas, you'll still go, ow.
Yeah, okay. The only experience I've ever had of tuning forks, I used to play the cello. I mean, I still play the cello, but I used to go to music school. And the first thing they teach you at this music school was you have to tune your own instrument with the tuning fork. Everyone had a fucking tuning fork. And we used to have to, I used to do sight singing, so you'd have to start the piece of music, which you've never seen before, read the music and get the key from the tuning fork, right? So you get a key of A, right? That's dong. Ba, 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 get it right in key. Okay, right, pass your exam. This is kind of a thing. But we used to muck around with those tuning forks so much. Like we used to dong them and put them on the tongue and like zap each other, like see where could you put this and it would be so like, you'd be like, who could endure this? I just remember that. It just brought me back to high school. Like, yeah, because you'd be waiting for your concert to happen in the back room and you'd just be fucking around in the back room with the tuning fork. You're right. When you dong, those ones were not, I mean, they're flexible to some, they must be to make the sound, but they're not healing tuning forks, just a key of A to get the note. Yeah. Yeah.
And some tuning fork companies don't give you the hertz frequency necessarily. They'll give you the actual like A or what have you.
Yeah. I mean, if you've ever put it on your tongue, like it's a good experience. That's what we used to do. It's like
I've not done that yet.
Something
I'm probably going to do it at home now.
Yeah.
I had a lady I taught in Canada last year, and they started experimenting with the weighted tuning forks in a hot tub.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah.
Upside down, I think she said.
And they put them in the water and let the water vibrate.
So they hit it. I don't even know how they do it. They hit it and put this in the water, and then do that.
Okay.
Or get down close to try and listen to it, or it was...
Okay. I thought you meant they were just trying to vibrate the water around them.
I think they were trying everything.
Okay.
Sounds... related to chip.
Yeah. Anyway.
So I'd never even really thought about that either. But here's an interesting thing just on the water thing, if that's okay. Mum and I were teaching a workshop in Sydney a few years ago, and it was on a main road, and the road was being upgraded to put trams and things on, and there was no way to get across the road to get water from anywhere, and we don't live in Sydney, so we didn't have a car, and so we drank the water from the tap, and it was not nice tasting. I don't know if that's standard for Sydney water necessarily, but it just wasn't nice tasting at the venue, and we used the tuning forks on the water, and it changed the actual taste of the water.
Oh, snap.
Changed the taste of the water. Everyone experimented with it to see. So that was...
Yeah. It's interesting what you were saying about the use of this for people who are a bit needle phobic or the needle shock thing, too many needles, because like I'm very not concerned, like aware that there's some people that shouldn't have acupuncture. It talks about in the Neijing, if your pulse doesn't have stomach chi, you shouldn't they shouldn't be needled. They should have moxa. Zhang Zhongjing talks about that a lot. Like, in this case, they shouldn't be needled. They should have moxa. And there's even some cases where, formulas he's saying they should have moxa first. And I use a lot of moxa in my clinic, right? Tuning forks would be easier than the smoke of the moxa. But I was talking to I had a student in my class who was really a bit more out there, a bit more open to, like, just thought about different things differently. And, I just said, there's just something about the moxa, like, the moxa, the heat of the moxa on you, is obviously that burn effect, right? That first degree burn effect. But I just still find if I do needle head moxa, because I tend to do that quite a bit as well, even if the patient doesn't feel the heat, how sometimes it's the distance by which, and he's like, that's vibrate, like it's going to cause the needle to vibrate in a certain And I just never thought about it like that. You know, you're not taught that in Chinese medicine school or anything. And and I was just like, okay, because that's what you're essentially doing when you're manipulating a needle, right? Different people have different techniques. They're causing a vibration on there. But then you walk away if you leave the patient lying down, and that, you know, it goes away. And so, like, with that constant vibration, I'm like, you know, it just does something different. And this is probably in some ways more intense or more effective in terms of that vibration than just someone's, you know, sometimes you go to an acupuncturist and they just sort of tap the needles into you and leave the room and nothing's happening. Like, they're not real. To me, that's not really doing anything, right? Like, maybe something happens, but you know what I mean? Like, people that are just almost like they put so many needles in you and then there's no time to pay attention to the ones they did put in you, and they're like, is anything? Yeah, so this frequency thing is like, I think it's already a part of that tradition of moxa and acupuncture without us thinking about it. We don't think there's not a sound frequency, but there's something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, for sure. I actually do teach my students that the heat on a needle will do what you said.
Yeah.
But I was never taught that.
Yeah.
You think you've got to feel the heat for there to be heat. It's the same with with needles. You know, I didn't.
Yeah.
But if you put a needle into large intestine 4, Hegu, you can then actually activate this and go beside the needle.
Yeah.
And then if you hit the needle, it'll go and it actually buzzes the whole needle. Sometimes that's a little bit sensitive for a person, but it's another way of, again, getting the intensity of that vibration right down into where the needle tip ended up, and then explodes off the end. So it's some people love that and some people don't. Yeah. But it's that's kind of a cool thing too.
Yeah.
But so that's. But again, even just literally activating it and sticking it on there, like again with yourself. You can feel it.
Oh, absolutely. Like, your whole hand's buzzing. I mean, you can feel it particularly right down to here, like right on large intestine 1. Yeah.
So actually, you can even feel it track along a channel as well.
Are there things that interfere with this that you find, like, I mean, this might sound a bit woo-woo, but like if people have their phones on them or they've got, you know, metal bracelets on, or is there things that would interfere with it working properly?
It's probably better not to have a watch. Some people will have crystals or beads. If they're not coming off and you want to slide, you just slide, and then you just kind of jump over the top.
Yeah, but I mean, like, as in...
Well, it'd stop a signal. I think sort of metal is something to consider. They do talk about cautions, contraindications with tuning forks. Yep. There's not a lot of them. Pacemaker is one, although again, there are some companies in America that are looking at that. As long as you're not straight over the top of it, you could still be at a distance.
Yep.
Metal plates and screws from broken bits and pieces, you could try, but you just put it on, and if they react, it's reacted to the metal. I've got screws in my finger here.
Okay, yeah.
This is fine.
Okay.
In fact, it feels nice.
Yeah.
But for some people, the metal from screws, again, probably the bigger that it is, might be more likely. So if someone's got a big plate halfway up their leg, or, you know, something like that, it might be more reactive. But if that's the case, you have mirrors. This is your finger. If you can't do it on that finger, you can do it on that finger.
Okay, yep. So you can still use this in similar to, like, say, let's say balance method, or, you know, for people that know what that is.
Yeah, so balance method could be even this finger can't be treated, so you do the opposite little toe, for example, for sure.
Basically interchanging these as a tool, just like you would with acupuncture.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, so that's really cool. That's awesome. And you've got some books that you've written on this topic?
Yeah, so got 2 acupuncture books that I have published, and then I've got about half a dozen tuning fork books as well. So they just help to complement the various workshops. Okay. I didn't bring them all with me. It was more just to show you. Obviously, this one I showed you, it has the tables. Yep. You just look up a disorder, A to Z, and it lists treatments like a dictionary.
Oh, let's have a quick look.
Yep.
Oh, awesome.
It's got the Chinese medicine terms in there too, so it's got actual disorders, but also
awesome.
things like liver qi stagnation. Oh, I know, liver 3, large intestine 4, pericardium 6, blah, blah, blah. What's some other ones that I might want to use?
Okay, cool. So it's kind of set out in two ways, where you've got the patterns of disharmony, like damp heat in the gallbladder channel, and then some common symptoms and the points, but then you've also got it by symptoms. Furnicle. There's one that you learn in Chinese medicine. Like, I remember these books and they'd say carbungles and furnicle, and you'd be like, when am I ever going to see that? They just use such weird language that that's cool. So people do get them.
You just
awesome.
use the tuning fork instead of the needle. So that's that one. This one is a bit more of, it's much bigger. This is a bit more of a discussion sort of, where that's just a table.
Yep.
Got itchy nose now. That's just tables for disorders. This one gets into the nuts and bolts of sort of the mechanics of acupuncture, why we're choosing the points we choose, why certain points work well together. It's really around this whole idea of what we call point prescription.
Yeah, great.
Which I call acupuncture point combinations.
Yep.
Because what matters to me is that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So it's about the collective of acupuncture points we use working together as a team.
Yep.
Rather than say, I'll pick liver 3 for liver qi stagnation, but they have some spleen qi deficiency, so I'll do spleen 6 as well. Oh, then they also have a bit of stomach heat, so I'll do stomach 44 as well. And then you're picking points based on a diagnosis, but you haven't thought about whether all those points will actually work well together.
Yeah, and that's something we don't really know a lot.
No.
And it's almost like, which one do I choose out of the list? Yeah.
So that's what this book goes into. It also has chapters on 5 element archetypes, 5 spirits, 8 extraordinary vessels, 3 chapters just on 5 elements, because in Australia, again, we don't do much on 5 elements.
Oh, this is great. You've got how to communicate with each archetype. That's good. Yeah. I've done quite a lot of videos on the 5 element types.
Yes, I've scrolled through your.
I made one, I've never studied 5 elements. I've just read books and puzzled it out. But I did one last year on Valentine's Day, saying, what would each element like for Valentine's Day?
Beautiful.
Like this kind of thing. Yeah.
I love it.
Anyway.
Yeah, 5 archetype.
I probably
want
not.
a hug.
Yeah.
And time spent with that person that they like. Yeah, I know. It's that's cool.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. So.
And then I've got
the course that.
tuning fork ones.
Yeah. Okay. So you got books about tuning forks.
Just with the tuning fork ones, it just gives you pictures. So a disorder with pictures.
Oh, that's perfect.
Because for some people who don't know anything about
that's
acupuncture.
Awesome. Yep.
So there's a few of them as well. And my nose is just going to stay itchy.
Do you want a tissue?
No, it's all right.
I can get it.
No, it's not that. It's like a kind of allergy thing.
Okay.
I should do some tuning forks for that.
Yeah. So once you pop them, you don't stick them up your nose. Like,
no.
That's one of the things we would do at the school. Like, we would just put them in a weird place, in your ear.
No, you wouldn't.
We used to sneak up on people and put them in their ears and stuff.
You don't put that on your nose when you got an itchy nose.
Okay, show us.
Come down, say, to lung 7, for example, or large intestine 4 is the best distal point for nose.
Yeah. Awesome.
Right.
Yeah. So do you have a specific course where people can discover the archetypes and do tuning forks for those archetypes? Have you taught that before?
Yeah, we touched on that earlier. I've only done it once before, but it's being done a second time in Melbourne in March. But I have workshops on 5 spirits as well. So your Hun, for example, is your dream your grandest dreams, your creativity, your inspiration. So there's a course on that. There's a course on numerology and the tuning forks as well. So your date of birth gives you a number, and then you get an activation or treatment for that number.
Okay.
I've got foundational courses, which for people that have never even really touched a tuning fork, and then sort of everything in between. So some will be where you do actual treatments on where you learn where the channels go.
Yep.
So then you activate the fork and you run the fork along channels as well. And we try to keep that as a flow. So for example, if you've got partners like lung and large intestine are partners. So you activate the fork and you run it down the lung channel. It's still going.
Yep.
You jump on the large intestine channel and you run back up. So that did a circuit
Yeah.
of part of those two channels. And then, so there's lots of different courses. I think I have about 14
Wow.
different tuning fork courses as well. So I'm quite big on mental emotional health.
Yep.
Having had immense mental emotional problems when I was younger, and acupuncture actually helped. So this is
Awesome.
me giving it back. So the tuning forks can help, acupuncture can help, potentially, obviously, with that. So we look at those sorts of things as well.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds very exciting. So interesting. And I think this is really valuable for people. One is they want to balance I like that idea about, you can balance your element type. You can, tap in. I think people are really interested in doing that. So David has a website, and we'll link that below to this video. So if you're watching this on YouTube, most of the ways people contact us is through an email and stuff, but we'll put your details there. So if you've got a question about the tuning forks or David's courses, then just contact him. We'll put all his details below, his social media or whatever we'll put there. And make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, of course, because why wouldn't you? Why are you here so long in the video and you haven't subscribed yet? If you're listening on Apple, you probably just either go to YouTube or Spotify to find that. But we'll put it in the show notes, but sometimes it's harder to find those things. But people can leave a comment on YouTube, and that's normally what happens. If people leave a comment, then I do a lot of replying to comments through other videos. So if you've got a question about this and you'd like to know more about this topic, or you'd like to know more, you'd like to have David again or something like that, just put your questions in the comments below. We'd love to see what you thought of this topic. And, do you like this kind of thing? Do you want more of this stuff? And yeah, it's been so good. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. I'm glad to have got the opportunity. So yeah, I'm very pleased.
Yeah. Such a unique area of Chinese medicine. And I think it would it's an invaluable tool to just have something else that you can use, another thing for practitioners, but also for people that want to do self-treatment. It's so great that you've got the opportunity for them to attend your courses. And that book looks really good. Where's that one that you got, the bottom one? Yeah, they all look good. That looks good. This one looks good. If you really want to do self-care or self-treatment, let's say, you could puzzle it out from this for pretty much anything.
There's
right?
over 1,000 disorders, isn't there?
But this one here is, if you don't have because that has the points, but it doesn't show you where they are, whereas this one has like little charts and things like that, so that you could use it like a manual, right?
And
where to put them.
And my middle daughter is actually redoing all the pictures as well, so they'll be even better than they already are.
I mean, what's great about now with the internet and even with AI and stuff, if you said, where's liver 4, you could probably just Google it and it will come up. You can see a picture of it. You don't have to own these textbooks anymore. So it does help people a lot. So even I give my patients, sometimes I'll just give them the points and I'll say, if you just Google this, it will come up and show you where it is. But that's super practical. So awesome. Okay. Fantastic. So when's your next course? Because you're going to be going all around Australia doing different things.
Yeah, next one is Hobart, 20 to 22 of March.
Okay.
That is a foundational one. Then I go straight to Melbourne from Hobart, and I've got an actual 2-hour Chinese acupressure course, and then the 5-element archetypes and tuning forks course. But I'm going sort of everywhere. I've got 35 workshops around the world this year. So yeah, if you're in Canada, America, Europe, UK, New Zealand, I'll be around.
Okay, so, awesome.
Yeah, my website will have the free newsletter and then also where I'll be. And when.
Yep. And if you want to get hold of that video that David was mentioning before, just contact him through his details through the website.
Yep.
His email or whatever, his personal home phone is on there.
Yeah. Well, Mobile, at
I'm
least.
joking.
Address.
No, but if it's on his website, you can contact him through that way. Yeah, so thanks so much for everyone for enjoying the episode. Leave a comment, like and subscribe, and we'll see you again on another episode soon. Thanks.